Hey, what's happening, Miles? What's going on?
Hello, Brian.
Hmm.
Represent the NDREAMS merchandise. I mean, they can't see it yet, but that's a nice
Yeah.
hoodie you got there.
Thanks. And what are you wearing that people can't see?
It's a bit out of reach for them, I think.
Oh, you know, and Dreams, they were like, hey, what's the best mailing address for you? We want to send out, a thank you package for covering our game. And I was like, you might want to wait for the review to go live first. So we'll see if that shows up or not. I have no idea if it will. And listen. I think there is a conversation to be had. I had no idea. People hate six. Anything in the six territory, they think it's a garbage game, and I think six is still a good game. So I think there's a conversation that needs to be had about that at some point.
But the coat, what do you think? Looking at me, is it a 6 or?
Uh, yeah. Well, listen. It doesn't. Oh, I was gonna say it doesn't say "reach" in big letters anywhere, but does it say it on the
doesn't.
back? There's some craziness going on the back there. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, yeah. Listen, if it doesn't say the name of the game and it just has like artwork from the game and stuff like that, I'm all about it. 8 out of 10.
Okay, there we go.
Cool. All right, let's go. You ready to go? Now we can
Yeah,
actually show people.
let's review merch now.
Let's go. Oh man, I already fixed this blue box issue today. I gotta fix it again.
Am I in a
Come
blue
on.
box?
There you go. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Eyes Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. But we also care about your oral pleasure. That's why we put it up on podcast services of your choice. Nice devoted little following over there on Spotify and all sorts of different podcast services. My name is Bryan Paul from this channel right here without parole. This gentleman over here to my left, your right, is Myles Dyer from youtube.com/Myles. Hi.
Hello, Brian. Hello, GameCats. Fresh out of GCX, GCX, GX, GX, GCX. Is it? What is the?
Sorry, what?
GCX. It's basically the gaming event. It's the Gaming Community Expo in London, but it got merged a few years ago with Comic Con, and so now it's just called MCM Comic Con. And I don't actually know what the MCM stands for in Comic Con. Do you know what it stands for? MCM?
No, it's the first time I'm ever hearing MCM out of your mouth. Yeah.
But Comic Con in America is called MCM Comic Con, isn't it? Yeah.
Sure.
What does MCM Comic Con stand for?
Bro.
It stands for Movies, Comics, and Media.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it was. I had no idea.
I mean, that makes sense.
Literally, no one here. I've never heard. Listen, I've never been to Comic Con, so MCM is not something that I would be like. Oh, MCM Comic Con. I would have said that. I know people who've gone to Comic Con here many, many times. I know people who go religiously. Have never used that MCM. Never. So, this is just their way to let people know that it's not just comics anymore. Is that the case?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't have a G in it for games. MCMG. You need to know it's got games. So yeah, there is no EGX area. Actually, there's an EGX like stadium area where they have like the sort of the competitive esports sort of stuff going on. But you just have stands and that around. It was a quiet day being a Friday. To be honest, I travelled an hour and a half to be there for like 2 hours. So I travelled more than I was actually there for. Because I've been working a lot today planning. I don't know if you heard of this PSVR2 day thing or something that's happening without Parole. I don't know.
I mean, listen, I've been told that it's happening. I think that's kind of the extent of it at this point. I think I know as much as everyone in the chat right now.
Yeah. So lots of work on that. Come back to it. I'm really excited for it. We've got a really good lineup and that, and a lot of stuff being worked on behind the scenes. So yeah, didn't have much chance, but I just wanted to go there. So I might go tomorrow if I have time to actually enjoy it fully. But of course, once you go into the weekends, that's when it's absolute chaos and just like so many people. And like people, I like people. I like people in certain amounts, but once it becomes like
Overwhelming.
absolutely chaotic, then I don't know, my energy levels just struggle. So that's it. But anyway, it was cool. It was cool.
Nice.
But
Glad to hear that,
you've
man.
never been to actual Comic-Con. Okay,
Nope, I never have, and there's quite a few of them. You know, there's
they're all over America, right? So yeah, because actually we have two in the UK. So we have London and Birmingham, or Birmingham, as you would say over there. You've got San Diego's the main one, right?
I mean, listen, I'm assuming like that's the one I hear most about, but that doesn't mean that it's the biggest one. Things change and things grow, and sometimes, I don't know, man. I don't know. But you had fun.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was cool. I saw some friends. Saw Paradise Decay. He grabbed me out of nowhere. And he was with some of the VR crew. I was going to be joining him later, but I just didn't. I wasn't there for long at all. So if they're there tomorrow, hopefully I will see him then. But yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. It's been a very exhausting week. And as always, it's nice to be here because this always makes me feel better. Love this community.
Yeah, man, I think this is going to be kind of a therapeutic show for both of us. I think both of us are kind of a little on the burnt out side of things. And I've got such a long weekend ahead. I'm trying to, if I don't get the 3 reviews out of the way that I'm working on before next week begins, I'm in big trouble, right? So I got a lot of work to do after I get PSVR this week up tonight. But I think it's going to be really nice to kind of push pause on everything and de-stress a little bit and just shoot the shit with you, shoot the shit with this community. This is always helpful. It's always really nice. So, actually, let's kick it off. Man, with Fifth. Oh, and we're back to seeing usernames instead of the actual names. This sucks. I hate when this happens. YouTube can't figure out what the fuck it wants to do. But Fifth with the Australian $5 says, loving all of your Let's Plays, Myles. I enjoyed escaping Wonderland more than Moss. Halo on PS. Hold on a second.
There's a lot here.
Many thoughts all cramped together. Halo on PS5 in 2026. I can't read. Brian, have you watched Terrifier? We should probably take these down one by one. Let's go in order. Do you agree? Is Escaping Wonderland better than Moss? I hope AJ's in the chat.
I've been keen to go back to this game since my Let's Play. I played 2 hours of it. I played a little bit at Gamescom last year, and it was like at the end I was pretty exhausted. Even though I had headphones on, when you're in an environment like that, you're not really getting honed in. But really loved it on my Let's Play. And my conclusion from it was, and I'm willing to reflect on it and think, oh no, there is this game. But I'm pretty sure it's my favourite third-person PSVR2 game. Like, hands down. I was truly blown away. I am like 4 chapters in, so I've still got some to go. But I know Looper was watching my live stream at the time, and just as I was wrapping up at 2 hours, he was like, oh, this is my favourite chapter. And then I was like, sorry, I'm ending the stream now. So the fact that I've still got an excellent chapter ahead, that's promising. So I love this game a lot. So I do. It's without doubt a hidden gem. And Moss, although I respect and I think it's definitely had its place in VR history and royalty in terms of where it was, I just found this game more engaging. Like I like Quill as a character, but this world, like all the characters in it and the charm and the wit and the overall writing and stuff, I found absolutely exceptional. So yeah, really good.
That's fantastic. I've only played the first hour and really liked what I played so far, and I've been meaning, like, it charmed me. I really do want to get back and play it, but obviously other things came up. So this is on my list of games to get back to. Maybe it sounds like it's deserving of something a little bit more than a Brian bite. Maybe I should, give it a full on review. So I'll keep that in mind when I have a chance. What Let's Plays have you done since the last time you've been on the show, Myles? You did Undead Citadel, I think, right?
Yeah. I did Undead Citadel yesterday. I literally have to look at my channel to remember what I've done this week. So I did Undead Citadel yesterday. Did you actually do a review? You did a review of it?
Yeah.
What do you remember what you scored it?
Mid 7, like 7.4, something like that. Yeah.
It didn't really click with me. Like, it looks good. The haptics are kind of cool. I had a lot of crashes and stuff. I don't know if it's PS5 Pro just specific. which meant I had to keep redoing entire chapters and sections. But like the sound design was excellent, like the creaking on the floorboards, the lighting, the fact that you can go to dark rooms with candles and light candles to light the way and stuff. Like there's a lot of really good stuff going on here. Maybe it's just because it's a very slow story to begin with. You're going into buildings, there's nothing there. There's a bit of a moldy apple for health and stuff. So towards the end of my Let's Play, I went into Horde mode. And I had a lot of fun with Horde mode because it was the action, you know? And so I guess if the story is going to become that, then I'll definitely think a lot more highly of it. So yeah. And that was off the back of the previous day where I played Deadland 2 VR.
I don't even know if I have footage for this one.
Deadland, what was it, Polygon or whatever it was called? In hindsight, was a pretty exceptional game. Deadland 2, I mean, guys, like, just watch the beginning of my Let's Play and watch me struggle in the tutorial, know how to reload a gun. I'm literally putting my head against the floor in my living room to see where the magazine dropped below the floor. And it's abysmal. It's actually, I think it might be the worst game on PSVR2. Yeah, it's a strong contender. Might have to think about that. And the reason I played that was going to be my Friday game, but it was because on Wednesday I was going to be doing Trenches VR, but obviously we had that delayed.
True.
So I'm looking forward to when that comes out. Day before that was Wallace and Gromit, and obviously I saw you did a Bryan Bites. I was trying to work out if it was a review or a Bryan Bites. You did Bryan Bites on it, and I have the similar sentiment to you, which is it's more of an interactive experience than a game. It looks great in the headset. Some of the interactions are, it's not even janky, just like not really optimized, like trying to pick stuff up. Some people mention like when you're trying to open the jam jar, I think it was a great moment where you're trying to open the jam jar and your hand is just not connecting properly. And then it's little things like, this sounds really silly, but there's a bit where you're in zero gravity and there's all these items floating around and you can get like a knife and butter, and I spread it on the bread and I'm like, it's not spreading. Oh, it's because the animation is on the other side of the bread, not the one that you're doing. And like, people go, oh, is that really an issue? Yeah, it changes the immersion of like, you've got quite a simple game, so you really need to think of those small details. But as someone who loves Aardman, who loves Wallace and Gromit, it doesn't come anywhere close to the movies and stuff. They're a lot more engaging to me. The mini games in this I found particularly boring, and there is a lot of standing around. But I think if I was 6-year-old me when I first saw The Wrong Trousers, the idea of like being in this VR world with these characters, I think, is super awesome. So I have mixed feelings about this. Like, it's not a particularly good VR game, but if you're a fan of Wallace and Gromit, I think, and also I think it's pretty reasonably priced as well. I think it's a good little fun experience. So yeah, and then Escaping Wonderland was on Monday, so that was the week.
Nice. Rhodey reminds me that I gave Undead Citadel a 7, which I absolutely stand by. Like, it's one of those games that like you can make it more fun by putting work into it, right? Like, let's get creative and like, be silly and spin around and you can stab this guy and like literally stab him against a wall and let him hang there, right? There's a bunch of stuff. Good. Right, they put a lot of work into that, but that I really do think that kind of stuff, that sort of sandbox type arena type fighter type shit, is for a very specific kind of person, right? And it tends to, I think those gamers tend to skew a little bit younger, right? And I'm old as fuck, Myles. Like, if anybody's ever like, oh, I totally disagree with Bryan on his reviews, and it relates to this stuff, it's probably an age difference. Right? Like, I don't really feel like getting all that creative. Like, I want to fight the enemies and win. That's my objective, is to win the fight, not to do it in the most creative way possible. But some people, and because a lot of them are friends of mine, are like, tell me like, oh, you can take a knife and like carve off. Like, I think this was Vader telling me about Dead Island 2. He's like, you can literally carve skin off of the zombies. And I was like, or maybe that was an Onslaught or something. Like, I just remember thinking, how much time did the developer put into that? And it's like 1 out of every 100 people are actually going to try to do that, right? It's like there's a list of priorities that I think get all screwed up on some of these games sometimes. But happy that it's there. And I still had fun. I do think it's a solid 7 out of 10. Undead Citadel's decent.
And some people in the chat say it does get better as you progress in the story. So like I am I don't know.
Okay. Interested to hear if you agree with that, because I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. It's
also,
fine. It's not, I don't think it's better.
An IP I've always wanted to see come to VR, and I talked a lot about it when Swordsman came out, is Golden Axe.
Yeah.
And I don't think Undead Citadel gets. I don't know. Maybe as I play longer, I will think of it more. But it's the closest I feel to that kind of game, like a classic Golden Axe game in VR. Some people are asking me when I said the worst game ever is some accolade, worse than non-Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm going to say yes. I had more fun with that flight simulator game than what was it called? Deadland 2. Yeah.
You know, I hate to say this, I did too. Yeah.
So you have played Deadlands 2? Yeah.
Hours. I have hours in Deadland 2. Brian
you say it was on PSVR? Was this the one that you said was on PSVR? Oh no, of course you did the Brian Bites on it. Was it on PSVR and then it came across, or was this a different game?
Deadland 2? That was new for PSVR2. And I haven't done a Brian Bite for it. Like, I have all the footage, I've written a script, and like something, I forget what came up. I think the developer was like, "Hey, we're adding this," and I was like, "Cool." And then like I forgot to check to see if they added that. Right, like an actual game element, which it's lacking. Right, Deadland 2 has no game in it. There's no game in Deadland 2. That's what they forgot. They're like, oh, here's some new weapons every so often. And you just keep killing enemies, but making it not an endless runner means there's no game. You just walk around randomly and kill zombies.
No, they have a signboard that says 3,000 meters is the city. And then you go to the next sign, it takes 250 meters. So I spent time on the live stream. I think I worked out it's 45 seconds of walking to each one. So it's like a good 5 minutes. And then as soon as you get to the city, the gate, it just goes, "You're alive." End screen, which is the same as what happens if you die. So there's like no difference whatsoever. And the city is the second map that on the main menu says "coming soon." Then you've got the forest coming soon. You don't unlock it. So yeah, that was even more frustrating.
I actually enjoyed Deadlands 1. It was like a $5 game, and it was a fun, endless runner. It was fucking crazy buggy and crazy janky, but I played that shit for 6 hours straight until I had gotten all the weapons unlocked. And I didn't need to do that. It was a bad game. It was the PSVR 1's version of Truck Simulator VR. Right? Not a good game, but a game that I spent a lot of time in. I think it's your Supermarket CEO Simulator.
Right.
Anyway,
Someone was mentioning another game I played, but that was Fryday. That was Harper Gun. I did that on Friday. I had to
we talked about that on Friday's show, right?
Yeah.
Fifth also asked if I've watched Terrifier. Yes, I have, which is funny because I didn't know what's it, Art the Clown? Is that his name?
Yeah.
There's a show we were doing last week, and I was like, who the heck is Ark the Clown? And I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, I don't even remember them calling him that. Maybe they didn't. Terrifier was fine. You guys know I love horror movies. Slashers are kind of at the bottom of my preferred horror movies. I still enjoy them, just not nearly as much as like, psychological thrillers or supernatural haunting type things, paranormal activity style movies, found footage stuff. All that is above slashers. So after I watched Terrifier 1, I was like, I don't feel the need to watch Terrifier 2 or 3. I'm like, I think I've got this series pegged and I'm good. I feel like I've seen enough. And that's no disrespect to that. I think that there's a huge audience for those type of movies. Ben L of the Game Cat Army with a level 3 membership says, my guess that the problem with review scores is that we are trained our entire school careers that 6 out of 10 is an F. So while 6 out of 10 would be an average game, not great but good, the casual observer misses. Yeah, and I bounced around on my review score scale quite a bit, as I was first implementing it. And at one point I was like, yeah, man, like I score it like I would a test. And I think, and I kind of still think that's true. I'm just a worse student than most people, I guess, because I'm like, oh, fucking 6 out of 10, that's a D. That's close enough, man. That's, you scooched past. You did okay. You did good, just good enough to get by. And that's generally how I feel about 6 out of 10. It's like, yeah, there's stuff, there's decent stuff there, but man, you sure missed a lot of the questions. You sure got a lot of the answers wrong. So I think that's pretty accurate. But yeah, we do just kind of look at it differently because we are trained to be like, man, it's a really bad score. You're a terrible student. Oh, he writes art in the wall in Pooh. Thank you, Scott. That's
nice.
Yeah.
We all have hobbies.
Guys, by the way, feel free to leave any of your viewer takeover questions. We're going to be diving into those in just a little bit. We got the viewer takeover channel over on our Discord. That's probably the best place to leave viewer takeover questions. Or you can tip during the show. Again, never a necessity. You can use your membership to highlight to send a super chat to highlight your comment, or we'll just try to keep an eye on all the chat as well. Comic book guy with the 2 quid says, "Evening, Brian and Miles." Oops, sorry, Miles. LOL. He spelled it.
I'm a victim. I'm a victim to your eye thing now. Yeah, this is a funny thing that's gone round because of what happened to me this week with Beat Games. So Beat Saber announced a new original soundtrack, and like a lot of people, I just said it's not coming to PSVR2, like skull emoji.
Yes.
And they replied from Beat Saber, "We understand your frustration, Myles," but they spelt it Miles. But unfortunately, there are no updates planned for PlayStation, so I just replied asterisk Myles with a Y. And everyone found it fucking hilarious. Even lots of people liked it. It's like the one bit of community management of like, yeah, we see you, Myles. And it's the fact that they did Myles with an I with a capital M. So it's not some kind of like autocorrect of Miles the distance. It's Myles with a Y. So it was just kind of that shrug, kind of like, yeah, it's Myles with a Y, you know. Yeah, at least you don't have that issue with people spelling Brian with an I or anything.
Never happens. Never happens on any of the platforms I use, that's for sure. It helps, Miles, when you don't use many social media platforms anymore, right?
Yeah, that definitely cuts it down.
Sure does. Guys, on a similar note, if you even know what we're talking about, and if you do know what we're talking about, great. If you don't, it's probably better that you don't. If you ever have any questions about, like, you know, what a patch entails, like if you're like, oh, Wanderer just updated on my PlayStation 5, right? Or one of the other hundreds of PSVR2 games you might have on your PS5, right? Just updated. And you're like, I wonder what the update was. You can go to the developer and see if they, you know, maybe they said something. You can go to the Discord that we've, tirelessly curated with lots and lots of moderators and making sure that everyone's having a good time, and just, you know, implementing channels and news channels and people who are like diligent about posting the news channels. The second it happens, like about updates for games, there's an infinite number of ways to get that information very, very quickly. But or
you could just tweet me and expect an instant response, Brian, because I have an alarm that's like a Batman thing in the sky of like, shit, someone's in trouble. I better reply.
Well,
within 4 hours.
I'm not trying to shame anyone for asking the question. The shame comes from the response to you not answering in time. But I won't shame anyone for asking the question. But like,
no.
Can you imagine if the 100,000 without Parole subscribers decided this was the way to get information, was to all tag Brian Paul and say, "Hey, what was in the updates that just went live for this game?"
What, are you not going to do a Brian hotline, like an actual phone on your desk that they can call?
Bro, I don't. People obviously don't understand. Like, you know, like when we're not streaming, just how busy we really are, right? Every waking hour, if I'm not watching a 4-hour Nightmare on Elm Street documentary, I'm probably working on the channel. And so we're insanely busy. We're doing stuff all the time. And as much as we love to hang out with you guys and talk to you as much as possible, we would never get anything done if these are the kind of things that we had to respond to 24/7. And so I just think that there's more efficient ways to get your information. And so if you do tag us, thank you for thinking of us when it comes to PSVR2 games always. We appreciate that. But if you don't get an answer from us, like, be nice about it, man. Like, don't don't shame somebody for being like, why the fuck didn't you respond to me? You're a piece of shit. Like,
people
what?
don't do that, Brian, though.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Oh, somebody was mean to someone else on Twitter today. Breaking news. Get the fuck off Twitter, man. Get your life back in order.
No, I've been really enjoying it. I just had
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Fuck Twitter.
But dude, we're like covering each other. You're like the beacon on the hill on Blue Skies, you know?
Yeah, my 12 followers on Blue Sky are super happy when I post.
Well, that's it. That's good.
But listen, no one needs Twitter to get PSVR2 news. No one needs Blue Sky to get PSVR2 news. Dude, we've cultivated the best community over on Discord. And like I said, so many people are so diligent. The second they see PSVR2 news, they rush over to be the first person to post it in the news channel. And that includes updates for all games. So, like, just join Discord. Join Discord and the
Discord is amazing.
Right? It's like all of your answers are at your fingertips. Right there in front of your fucking eyeballs. We've tried to make it easy on you. And you get mad at us when we don't answer you right away.
I did actually, after you were talking about it, share the link in the chat. So yeah, if anyone wants a giggle, just have a look at my latest post on X. I've been having I've had a really bad week, really stressful week, and I leave my house for a few hours. And then I get flamed for not responding to someone's question because I'm clearly a piece of shit that doesn't care about people. If anyone out there has any doubt, I fucking love this community. Everyone is amazing, and I don't take it for granted. So any doubt, wholehearted love this guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And listen, like I said, we're so grateful that like when you have a PSVR2 question, we come to mind. We're like, you think of like, hey, these are the people that come to mind when I have a PSVR2 question. I don't underestimate that. I don't take that for granted at all. I think that's the coolest thing ever. I do. But if we don't respond to you, man, like that's a completely different story. Like, cool your jets, dude. Cool your jets. Right? You get and trust me, if you want me to answer a question, you've got a way much better ways to do it. You can tag me on Discord and I'll probably get back to you within a few hours. I think my DMs are open on Discord. You can probably just ask me directly. I don't love that. But we've got an Ask Bryan channel. We've got an Ask Myles channel, right? We have these things
which I do need to get better at. I keep needing to check in there.
What I'm trying to say, Myles, is that like for people who are insanely busy, we are the most accessible YouTubers of all time, right? We are so goddamn accessible, and then to be shit on for not being as accessible as somebody wants us to be. It's like, I'm sorry, man. You've got standards that are just too goddamn high for us. Dude, we're never going to meet those standards.
The format of this show is super accessible. Like, the show is literally us having a conversation with the live chat. Like, you know, it's not just like doing our show and then occasionally popping in. And that's the same with my Let's Plays. When I'm doing a Let's Play, I'm literally having a conversation with the people in real time, or as much as possible. So yeah, we do our best. We do our best. But it's not fucking good enough, Bryan.
We wouldn't even talk about this if we had news to talk about today. This is
what was the news? Why was that not in the thumbnail?
Everyone involved in this conversation, from you to the person in question, are all victims of circumstance. Ace Gamer with the 1337 says, afraid of dying alone? Come play Alva with us on Saturday. Scared to death by frost zombies? Come play After the Fall with us on... Yeah, they're Snowbreed. What the fuck? Can we call them by their proper names? They have names. Snowbreed. Come play with After the Fall with us on Sunday. We do this stuff and more every week. Join Discord today. Thank you so much, Ace Gamer. It's true. Weekend updates. Oh my God, this is not a Saturday Night Live skit. Hi. Weekend multiplayer meetups. Jesus, is we don't just do them on Sundays anymore. We do them on Saturdays and Sundays, and so 2 p.m. Eastern. And remember, this clock's changing. I think you guys are changing your clocks this weekend, and we're not. So really pay attention to what time of day it really is. 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday will be Alvo. I haven't played Alvo in probably 5 years. And then 2 p.m. Eastern on Sundays After the Fall.
Nice.
The GameCat Andrew Eric with the $5 tip says, my vacuum cleaner stopped working, so I put a copy of Dreams of Another inside, and it started to suck again. Fucking best comment of the year. Right there. You are, for now, I dub you King Dyson. That is your name, Andrew, for the rest of the show. What's up, buddy? How you doing? How's it going? What else we got here? We're just going to tackle one or two more.
Let's do it.
All right. Is it Emmanuel Bose, and please tell me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. With the $5 says, "Happy Friday, GameCats." Anyone enjoyed watching 3D movies on PSVR should check out Tron Ares. Is it called? Is it Ares? Is that what the new one's called? Tron?
Yeah, I think it's called Ares.
Wow. I knew there was a new Tron movie. I saw the trailer. That name did not ring a bell. In IMAX 3D. Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. I went through a stint, Miles, a little while back with my dad. My dad, like when my dad first retired, he and I would go to IMAX in 3D and watch everything we could. We saw like the first Avatar movie. We saw How to Train Your Dragon.
Avatar's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, these movies were really, really well done in 3D. We had a blast.
Avatar, when I say Avatar, I mean like Avatar visually. Like I've gone to each movie and it feels like an event. But if you told me to tell you what happened in those movies, I can't remember them the moment I walk out of the cinema. Like there's nothing individually memorable about it. In my opinion, if you take away stuff more than that, I'm really happy for you. I wish I did. I cannot tell you anything that happened in Avatar, like the individual scenes. But what I can tell you was I was visually amazed by like how good it looks in the 3D recording and stuff. But yeah,
I think please don't crucify me in the chat. I thought the second Avatar movie was so bad that like even the 3D stuff didn't save it for me. Like I had to take the 3D glasses off and just close my eyes at a certain point and be like, when is this gonna be over? Like and I would have just left if I was by myself or with one other person, but I was with like 7 people and it was like my whole family and shit. It was like a family outing. I was like, I'm stuck here. Like I just couldn't painful. I'm sure there's fans of it. So like, you know, I don't, good for you. I'm happy that you liked it, but man, I did not. And I really did. I honestly thoroughly enjoyed the first Avatar. I went to see it with my dad and I liked it so much that I went to see it with my ex, like immediately after, same week, I think. And had a blast both times. Very strange. Oh, Jay the Foviated rendering Gamecast that they were both bad.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. I feel much better. I'll take they're both bad. I'll take they're both bad over only one of them. Yeah. Fifth of the Australian $5 said, Miles, Sirens on my end. What's the date of your Roboquest VR Let's Play?
That's a good question.
Check the whiteboard.
Oh no, it only goes up to October. So yeah. Stay tuned. I guess. I don't know. Should I even do one? Don't know.
How great
I'm so hyped for that game.
How great would it be if on PSVR2 day you guys come out and you're like, hey guys, we got this great announcement for Roboquest. We know you've all been patiently waiting. Oh, hey, what are you doing? We all know you've been patiently waiting for the release date. So here it is. February 22nd, 2027. You're like, it's a year and a half away.
I know. And thankfully it's actually January 22nd, 2027. So
yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't jinx it, mate. So far we're on track to when we want to launch it. But yeah.
All right, guys. We got a ton of viewer takeover questions in the viewer takeover channel over on Discord. Guys, if you're not a member over on Discord, like I was saying earlier, this is like the hub of Without Parole these days. It's where everyone hangs out. It's where you can get in touch with me or sometimes Miles and sometimes AJ and sometimes Wes. Pretty much whenever you want to. And there's just a lot of cats. The great thing is that there's a lot of cats that can answer your question if we're not around to answer, right? It's just like the most knowledgeable PSVR2 gamers on the face of the planet. They're all over there. And you can leave your viewer takeover channel question in our viewer takeover channel right now. And we'll read it. Stingray X. Ready for this, Miles? Hashtag viewer takeover. Have you been wanting to go back to PlayStation Move games? You know, the ones that came out before PSVR 1?
I don't know if I never played the Move games. I did have the PlayStation, the first camera. Was it the iToy?
Yeah, PS2, right?
And what was the one where, when I'm cleaning windows? Do you remember that mini game? We had to clean the windows, and then there was the karate one, the judo one, where you got the little, because you'd watch yourself on the TV, and you have these little characters coming left, right, and you're like, chop, 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 chop. And then there was the one where you had to clean all the windows as quick as you can. It was so super fun. I wonder what year that came out. I'm not making this up. This was real. It was real. It was a real game on iToy.
Yeah, I guess this is some really old video footage of people doing tech demo stuff with the Move controllers. These demos were done by White Moon Dreams, makers of Starred Blood Arena, and it's just and these were like things that you could try out on like kiosks, right? And to really get an idea of like what the Move controllers could do, but they were never actually released. The demos were never released for home consumption, right? So like there's all these cool little tech demos that just are lost to time because Sony never released them. This should have been part of a demo disc or something when you first bought your Move controllers. You know, I'm sure to a degree, a little of this tech probably made it into some of the games, but yeah, this was pretty cool. I don't know, man. I will say that the reason I bought the Move controllers to begin with was because I'm a huge fan of light gun games, and so when Dead Space Extraction came over and the Resident Evil light gun shooter games, Umbrella Chronicles and Darkside Chronicles, there were all these light gun games that came along for the ride with the Move controllers, and I was like, "Yep, this is what I'm using these for." And you know, right, in the sharpshooter, I forgot about the sharpshooter. That you kind of like you lock the navigation controller in, and then you like you lock a Move controller into the top, and then I basically got an aim beta. And you could play Killzone 3 that way. You could play Resistance 3 that way. I thought that was really cool. It was super clunky. It was a really clunky way to play some very, very cool games. But man, I was all on board, which meant that like when we were using the Move controllers during the PSVR 1 era, it meant that like it was a massive upgrade from what I was used to. So there were people complaining about the Move controllers, but I was like, you have no idea. This is so much better than we had it on the PS3. These Move controllers have come a long way, baby. So no, I don't.
They definitely got their money's worth out of them, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because it was like they were just going out, and then they're like, we could give this another 4 or 5 years with PlayStation VR. Just incredible.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So yeah. So, but no, I mean, listen, I wish there were more light gun shooters. I wish there were better ways to play light gun shooters on PlayStation 5. But I think that's about the extent of it. Myles, you don't happen to have Discord up in the viewer takeover channel, do you?
I can edit. Here, I'm there. Do you want me to start reading stuff?
Yeah, I mean, any question that jumps out at you, man. Anything that you're interested in talking about, feel free. I'm just trying to.
I'm just trying to make sure I don't go before. And yeah, I know this was before the move. We were talking about the iToy thing. It's called iToy Play. And AJ was right.
Okay.
There was a Kung Fu Live, that was it, and Wishy Washy, the window washing game.
All right. Yeah, I do. Listen, I remember the iToy, and I had one, but I actually, for some reason, I don't know what I had it for. I recorded some videos of myself.
Okay.
Like I don't remember what I was doing, but I was recording in like black and white or something. I think I was recording like myself play guitar. I just used whatever I had around. But I don't remember actually having any of the mini games for some reason. So I don't know what the hell I had the iToy for.
Yeah, I had it for Eye of Judgment, but I think that might have been the new camera because that came with the PS3. And Eye of Judgment, talked about it before, where you have the mat. It's a card game, but you put the card down and you'd have your camera looking down at the mat, and they all have like QR codes effectively on them. And so on your card, it would make a hologram, a 3D hologram of that monster that you could rotate, and you could actually battle people online. And they had booster packs and stuff like that, which I was going to get, and I'm glad I didn't because it didn't take off. Right. PSVR Fanatic asks on Viewer Takeover,
Wow.
how does the end of year lineup for 2025 compare to what we got last year with Behemoth, Alien, and Metro? Sorry,
So we actually,
Behemoth, Alien, and Metro were last year.
Yeah,
They were all last year.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then I mean, and like honestly, like if you take like that few month period of time, and even if you like loop January into it, you get like Arcanage in that same time frame. You get Subside in that same time frame. You get it was a stellar year, and we actually was it Wednesday's show a God, did we just do this on West Day? We actually did a deep dive into this question, and I looked at every game and compared, and the result that we came up with, Myles, was that it really depends on how good the games are that come out over the course of the next couple months. Because on paper, 2025 looks better than 2024. That's how good this year looks, the end of this year. But you just never know. You just never know when there's going to be a stinker mixed in there. And so that can change everything very quickly.
Wow. That's cool. That's cool to think about, man.
But what are you thinking, though? Like, because off the top of your head, you can think, the Thief is coming out very soon, right? We've got Luminous Arise. We've got Rush VR. We've got Of Lies and Rain. We've got all sorts of great games that are coming out, right? But in your head, right? We don't have to do this as mathematically as we did on Wednesday's show. Just like in your head right now, does all that stack up to Alien, and Behemoth, and Subside, Metro?
Yeah, dude. I mean, that is a really tough one. Like going into the end of the year, that was pretty. I mean, Thief, I'm kind of like, I'm not. It depends on how it is. Like, I have seen some people's coverage of it. Like Reese, Games with T played it. I think he was talking to you about it on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it could end up being an exceptional game. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one, man. Like, I think that this year we've definitely had a lot more just decent games. Like, I think just we've had a lot more games that have been decent to play. But we've had Hitman come out, which is an exceptional top tier game. Also, this has been the year, unless I'm getting mixed up. Did Ancient Dungeon add multiplayer this year, or was that last year?
There's no way to know.
I know. But my point is that I just feel like the existing games have also had updates. So yeah, I don't know. I think we're on a good stead, and yeah, we've still got just over 2 months to play with, and there could be some really good stuff. Who knows? There could be some really terrible stuff. We just actually no, Deadlands 2 was last year, I think.
Not sure. Brando with the Level 3 membership says, when should we let Myles know about the Madison DLC?
Oh my god, that was traumatic watching on Wednesday. I actually work with Grant from Team Beef, who worked on the VR port of Madison.
Tell us everything you know.
So no, I'm just telling him not to worry about it. Don't worry about Madison. Just just no. Hands on his ears. No. If anyone asks you to do the VR, don't. But yeah, no, that is kind of cool. And for those that keep asking, yes, the plan is it'll probably be next Saturday. So yes, the day after Halloween. But I'll be jumping back into Madison VR because you deserve it. You will deserve it.
Bro, I cannot believe it. It's Friday today, obviously, because we're doing the show. And a week from today will be Halloween. What the fuck happened to October, dude? I haven't watched. I've barely watched any new horror movies. I barely played any horror games. I'm focused on games for review, and so so that's what I'm playing right now. And it's like, what happened to this month? This is the least Halloween-y October I've ever had in my entire life, ever. And I apologize because I feel like with a little bit more effort, I probably could have done some live streams, and it's still hoping to do some next week during the build up to Halloween. But man, I gotta say I'm a little disappointed with myself.
Yeah.
David does PSVR2 says, has Madison DLC been confirmed for VR though? No, neither has Madison 2. So we are very, very curious to know what the deal with that is. To me it feels like I just remember the reaction from Bloodiest Games, where there was so much hype for the PSVR2 version. Bloodiest couldn't believe, oh man, there's all this renewed interest in the game, and it just seemed it to me, based on my perspective of how things went down, the PSVR2 version is an official canon version of Madison, and I feel like anything that happens to any version of Madison will also end up in the VR version. Maybe not day and date, but I just think that's my feeling on it, based on he seemed like really thrilled that the VR audience was super psyched about his game. So I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything to worry about.
Yeah, no, I with that completely. And just to be clear, I have no idea what the plans are. But I'm the same as you. I think if it happens, it would probably happen on a delay. I mean, obviously, you'd hope it happened at the same time, but yeah.
Right. Myles, I kind of want to tackle a big question that's been asked recently. And here it is. We're just gonna do this. I'm a little bit nervous about even starting this conversation.
Why are we here? Why are
What's
we
life
here?
all about? Is God really real, or is there some doubt? Is life just a game where we make up the rules? Are we searching for something to say? You started it. Sleep Mute writes hashtag viewer takeover. I've been listening to the podcast since I was a wee young lad. No, he said since I got my PSVR2 on day one. So we know exactly how long he's been watching the channel for in the grand scheme of things. It's a small amount of time that we've been doing this. He says, and now I have that weird parasocial thing where I feel like I know all the hosts while they've never heard of me. But I don't actually know that much about them or the history of the show. And I think it would be an interesting topic for a slow week. Well, it's not. This is crazy. How are we in the middle? How are we in the middle of like a crazy season, right? It's just like that weird time frame where we're playing games for review, or I am, and but the embargoes haven't lifted yet. And so I'm like trying to finish this up, and chaos behind the scenes. And you're trying to get PSVR 2 day done, like taken care of. So it's chaos,
yeah.
and there's so much that we're doing, but then you just like look at the news channel and you're like, what? There's nothing fucking happening today. Right? Anyway, he says, so on a slow day, maybe you could tell us how each of the co-hosts met Bryan, how they came to be regular members. Also, who wrote the theme song? All right, let's start with the last part first.
I was going to say, you start with the theme song. I want to hear this.
Yeah. It's not a good answer. I'm sorry. It really isn't. So the word here, I'm a musician. I've written hundreds. And when I say hundreds, I mean like probably close to 1,000 songs in my life. Like just hundreds and hundreds of songs. Most of them bad. A few of them I still play because I think they're okay. So but I'm not completely without talent when it comes to music. And so you would think that I would do this. I would write the theme songs. Sometimes, man, like you'd be surprised how quickly a lot of this stuff comes together when we changed, Gaming Without Parole to a live show, or GAMESCAST to a live show, or however that went down. It was this kind of thing that we just everything kind of had to come together overnight and come up with a new intro and new music and all of that. And so you just go onto a site and you pay a licensing fee, and you like buy you buy the rights to a song for till the end of time for $35. And you go through and listen to thousands and thousands of songs, and you're like, hey, this one works. And I hate that so much, right? Because it's like, man, but it spoke to me, right? It really spoke to me. So at least there's that. But I mean, listen, Sleep Mute hasn't been around a long time. And if you've been on the channels for only the PSVR2 era, which I know a lot of people have, that's like the extent of their knowledge of the channel, then you don't know that when I started the channel, it was supposed to be an MP3 podcast only. That's all it was supposed to be. It's just supposed to. I just wanted to upload a podcast to iTunes every week, and that's all I wanted to do. And so I put out a Craigslist ad. Said, listen, this is what I want to do. I want to do a gaming podcast. All of my friends like played games, but not to the extent, not to where they were like hardcore gamers and knew enough about gaming to be. So I put out a Craigslist ad, and Mike Zeller answered. Mike Zeller is my first co-host. We did, I want to say 4 or 5 episodes that we recorded audio style and never uploaded them anywhere. Never. Because I was like, we're just kind of practicing. Like he thought we were uploading them. And I was like, no, we're not good enough yet. So he'd come back every single week and record another one and never went anywhere. And then when it came to actually publish the first one, it was like, this is difficult. Back then it was difficult to upload a podcast. It just wasn't as easy as clicking a button like it is today. And so, and I found out that if there were, we could just upload it onto YouTube with the click of a button. It was so easy to start a YouTube channel, so easy to just drag and drop and it starts uploading. And I was like, I guess I'll just set up this kind of crappy GoPro camera I have, and we'll just throw that on. And so that's how all that started. And we, you know, you guys know we went through so many different co-hosts, and you know, especially the early days, a lot of my co-hosts came from just people I stumbled upon, right? Like this wasn't I used Craigslist one time, and then that was it. Mike Zeller, by the way, sent me a 3-page resume. I thought that was adorable. I was like, no one's getting paid for this. Like, this isn't an actual job. And he was like, no, I just wanted you to know that, like, I know my shit. And I was like, all right. But it's funny because I met Jeremy King at a GameStop where he was working. He was actually working at a GameStop, and then like the next day I was at another GameStop because I'm looking for like games that are hard to track down. So I'm going from GameStop to GameStop on my days off from work and like hunting shit down. And so I went to a different GameStop across the city, and he was working again. And it was like what I felt was a very normal thing to go to a couple. Suddenly seems a little bit weird when he's like, didn't I just see you yesterday at the Greendale Mall location? I'm like, fuck. Yeah. And then now I seem like this weird gamer guy, right? But Jeremy and I would talk all the time. I'd see him all the time every time I went to a GameStop. And I told him, I was like, man, one day I'm going to do a podcast. One day I'm going to do a podcast. And you know so much, and you're so personable that like, it's got to happen. Fast forward a couple of years, I stopped seeing him. He got a different job. I just never ran into him anymore. Amazon started taking over everything, and so I didn't have a reason to go to GameStop anymore. And so I didn't see Jeremy for a long time. And so I started working at this restaurant, and I worked at this restaurant for a long time. I made friends with the cook. That was Brett. He was one of my early co-hosts. I made friends with Michelle and Des at the restaurant. They were co-workers, servers of mine, and I recruited them to come be on the channel. So a lot of those things that we were recording was like at midnight.
Come to the church of Bryan Pooh.
But it was so funny because like we had to wait to get off work, right? And then they would show up here, and we'd smell like restaurant, right? We'd sit in front of the green screen and record, and then I'd stay up all night editing after they left, like just like oh man. And then one day, I was at the restaurant, and Jeremy King and his girlfriend come in for dinner. And I'm like, dude, I know you. And he's like, I know you. And I was like, I started that podcast. You need to be on the show. And he's like, you got it. And so like, I felt like fate kind of like brought us back together. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, we got to fast forward a little bit. And
I love those sort of elements of butterfly effects. Like, PN walked in, like, you know, and had that conversation with the knock-on effects have happened, and yeah, that's pretty wild.
We get a little bit more online centric from this point on, though. It gets a little bit stranger. Is it what trailer's playing? What trailer's been playing this entire time? It's just been Madison looping. This is going to drive somebody in the chat nuts. It's
very cruel, so I don't need reminding.
Here, I'm sorry. I'm just going to throw the generic PSVR2 reel up here. So yeah, we get very online from this point on, and so I remember Dave's station. I was scared to do Let's Plays. I was scared to do stuff live, right? And so Dave was doing stuff live and doing drunk Let's Plays, and I remember just being like, hey man, like, can I re-upload your Let's Plays on the channel? And, you know, like with some without Parole branding, and then direct people to your channel saying this is where it came from. This is the guy who does these, right? Because I had like, I don't know, 1,000 subscribers and he had like 20. And I was like, maybe I can, you know, get some focus on his channel type thing. And he was so personable, and we talked back and forth, and, you know, he thought I was trying to scam him or something. Obviously, why wouldn't he? And then, but you know, we just kept talking, and we became friends. And obviously, like I you know, grew a pair and decided to start doing live streams for myself, and said, you know, he wanted to just focus on his channel, and you know, so it was that's how he and I met. Like I literally found him through his channel. And then AJ, I think AJ just a game cat. I think AJ was just somebody who was always in the chat, always knew what he was doing. You know, always he was the looper of 7 years ago. And he just always had the answer, and he was always more knowledgeable about every game than anybody else was, because he's the kind of person who like was into like just dissecting games, right? Just like tearing them down and figuring everything out. Like he wanted to be the guides guy. He wanted to know all that. He wanted to be that person. And he was very good at it. And then one time, AJ called me. And we had like a legit, like I swear our first phone call was like 4 hours long. It's like, jeez. And that's how you know, right? Like when you just like don't even want to get off the phone with somebody, like the conversation just handles itself, right? You just go topic to topic to topic and deep dives, and had the same, a lot of the same thoughts on a lot of the same things. And so obviously, when we're looking for a new co-host, he was a natural fit. And then things changed. AJ and I were doing it 3 days a week, and that was just so much. That's so much to ask of anybody else, right? And so when AJ eventually went down to 1 day a week, I was like, well, who are the people that I want to fill in the other days? And Wes, I'd been watching for a while on Virtual Strangers, loved the long form content, and he was like super knowledgeable, and I wanted him on. And then I remembered some other guy who had sent me a video introducing himself to me randomly. Myles, you want to explain all this shit to me?
Well, I was going to just respond to that little thing. When I was at EGX, so I was hanging out with a friend, and she was saying like how easy I found it was to talk to people. She actually is a DJ playing some local bars and that, and is like trying to get into the industry and like, trying to network and stuff. And I was like, it's all about sort of self-belief and just starting the conversation. And then like moments later, we're at a shop selling all these cute Japanese toys that I don't know the names of, except Hello Kitty. And then the people that ran it came up to her and were like, oh, hey, like we work together. And then they let us jump the queue and stuff. And I say, like, see, it does work. But in that conversation, I was saying how I've managed to connect with so many people. And I say often over the last 15 years, when there have been people I've wanted to reach out to, I've sent video messages. And the reason I do that is because I know it cuts through, because we all get so many emails. I talk about this a lot, how the majority of communication is not the content of what you say. It's tone of voice, facial expressions, body language. All of that gets cut out. And that's why the internet is often a toxic place, because you don't get all that human connection stuff. But yeah, I bought a PSVR headset, and I remember I was like looking for reviews for games, because I was looking at the PlayStation store, and because VR doesn't really get covered in traditional stuff, I was like, all right, I'm just going to go on YouTube. And it was the first Pixel Rip game. And then I see this review by you. And at the time, the intro music to your reviews, I assumed was a part of Pixel Ripped, because it kind of went with the vibe. And it turned out, oh no, it was the theme tune of your stuff. And I ended up just watching a lot of reviews. I was a viewer. And then people think I'm mental when I say this. And yeah, I am a bit weird. Throughout my life, despite working, coming up to now 20 years working in like content marketing and spending most of my days dealing with strategies and marketing for brands and other people, what I like to do in my free time is to then just like help people that I see doing great stuff, that I just think they've got the energy, they're doing a lot of great stuff. I could just give them a few bits and nudges here and there to help out. And so, yeah, I dropped you a video message and I was just like, hey, Bryan, watch your stuff, love what you do. I actually can't even remember what specifically was in the video, but I can imagine it was just saying that, like, I'd love to help you out with stuff, because I know you're doing a lot. I know there was a period where I was actually running the Instagram account, and we were trying stuff there. And then you gave me like one or two like guest slots on Without Parole, which I was really grateful for. And then, not wanting to make this story too long about me, but like in terms of how it all came to fruition, and that you then offered me the chance to be one of those hosts, and it was absolutely amazing. Like, really appreciative of it. And it has really been a trajectory of like a big part of my life, because of 2-3 years ago now, Fast Travel Games were going to send you out to Sweden. You weren't going. You said, do I want to go? I went, bumped into a lot of VR content creators that I knew online, and I got my hands on the PSVR2 headset ahead of launch, and did that video for the channel, and it got a lot of traction. And in that moment, I was like, okay, I'm not just a fan of VR that just happens to be lucky on a show. Like, maybe I could actually do something here. And it really sort of built that self-belief in that, and the rest is history in that. But yeah, Sorry, that was a really long answer to your question of the video
No,
stuff,
no.
but like, well, lots of memories coming to mind there. But I also knew when I messaged people, and kind of it runs with the theme we were talking about earlier, is yes, I do have a lot of confidence reaching out to people, and I've had some really interesting connections. Actually, today I saw Troy Baker, who plays Joel in The Last of Us, and he does like so much voice acting. He follows me back on Instagram. We chat rarely from time to time. I sent him a video message, and that was, and like it's just like I just say to people, just try it. Like it seems to cut through and work in that. But when I reach out to people, it is with complete sincerity because the world is a noisy place. There's a lot of people out there. I don't have time. I don't want to waste people's time if I don't want to have an actual connection. And so people are my lifeblood and stuff like that. And yeah, you're a good guy. And you've got an amazing community that is driven not just in gaming, but compassion and like looking out for each other. You know, you're my kind of person. Game Cats are my kind of people. And so that was kind of what brought it all together.
It's been quite a journey, Myles. I've been doing this for more than 10 years. March was 10 years for me. And I've always, like, long before I did it full time, I treated it like a full-time job and gave it everything I had. And meeting so many cool people along the way that I never would have met otherwise, and becoming close with them. I have been so fortunate to have the most charismatic, the most interesting, the most intelligent, and some of the most well-rounded people as co-hosts that I could possibly hope for.
And me.
And you as well. I don't, you know, like and listen, I watch a lot of YouTube. I do. Not a lot of VR YouTube. I've said that before, but I watch a lot of YouTube. And so I know that just being charismatic doesn't just come natural. I know that just having some kind of presence and being able to do this doesn't come natural. I know that I can't do it. So I need to surround myself with lots of people who can. And I have been so fortunate that everybody who's ever come on this channel with me has been exactly that. What a great group of people that I've been blessed to be surrounded with all these years.
But that's because you created the home to allow for it to happen. Like if you didn't have a good environment, if you weren't you, this wouldn't happen because we all have choices in life and stuff. And yeah, people mentioning Dave in the chat, God, I miss him incredibly. AJ, Wes, just like brothers in arms, it feels like with you, Bryan. Feels very, very lucky. And actually, you know, even though we did talk about this quite jokingly at the beginning, and we have throughout it, like there are going to be times, like we were talking about earlier, we were talking about the Ask sections in the Discord and that. There is so much in like our own lives and like online. Like I always like the thing, always assume good intent. It's a good thing to have. I try and practice it as much as I can and stuff. And sometimes things get heated, but like, yeah, sometimes we will miss the mark. There are times where there are things that we should have taken a bit more care of with the community or miss out on or people. And I don't want ever people to feel that anything is ever mean-spirited and stuff like that. We're all human beings and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, intentions are good. And I think 99% of the time we get things right here. And yeah, good. And it's a testament of why this channel is still going strong after so long with such an incredible community. Because on reflection, would I still be playing VR now if I hadn't have found GameCat? Like, I probably would be playing games from time to time. But I think a lot of what I love about the VR is the community. It's the, what did you think of this game? Because, you know, it's nice to chat with people about games and that. But when it's VR, it's like, I was in this game and I did this. And because VR invites you to play a lot of genres of games, at least I find, that I wouldn't normally be into on flat screen. But in VR, it just feels a bit more different. It's just a very special time. And I often mention the fact that it feels like how YouTube felt to me 20 years ago. This sort of golden era where everything feels on a micro level, where everyone knows each other. I might have mentioned this before. A friend of mine said to me, do you remember when Twitter used to be a website where you tweet a friend and say, do you want to go to the pub tonight? And I love that because that's literally what Twitter used to be. I remember you just message people on Twitter, conversations, which of course you wouldn't do now. But that was just how small and vibrant the internet felt back then, and obviously it's huge now. And that's how the VR community feels now. Like most people kind of know each other, and there's an excitement with like sharing this with people that are yet to experience it. So,
yeah,
this was a good question.
A lot of great memories coming up. We could definitely do an entire show just on this. And I'm honestly thrilled that some people are learning about Dave Station in the chat right now, because you go search up his channel, go watch some of his videos. I put a mini retrospective memoriam up for Dave after he passed. But it's just a beautiful human being, and I'm glad we got to know him while he was here. A lot of love in the chat, and I appreciate that, you guys. Comic book guy with £5 says, talking about horror, I have a signed Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey poster. It was signed by someone from the movie. No, I don't know. I don't know who it was. LOL. That's really good. That's really good. To be honest with you, I've never seen Blood and Honey or the sequel. I want to. I know they're going to be terrible. I think these are movies you have to watch with somebody else. You have to watch with a friend, right, or significant other, right? You got to like snuggle up and be like, "This is going to be terrible. Let's enjoy how bad it is together." But I think if I'm just like sitting there watching it by myself, I'm like, this is not the right atmosphere for this movie, right? They're supposed to be bad. You're supposed to get enjoyment out of the fact that it's bad. But that's cool that you have a poster that's signed by somebody unrecognizable. Andrew Ehrenreich in the chat says, without Parole, do you still keep in touch with Jeremy, Des, and Michelle? Very rarely. I keep in touch with Jeremy more than anybody else, because Jeremy, even if I wanted to stop being friends with Jeremy, he wouldn't let me. Like he's legitimately the nicest guy in the world. I'm sure everybody knows by now that he insisted that he take me to Connecticut. It was a 2-hour drive each way to go pick up Tornado when I adopted her, because he wanted me to be able to bond with her on the way back. Like, who does that? Who just like said, "Oh no, you were going to drive yourself, but instead I'm saying no, insisting that I'm going to do the 4-hour drive for you, so you can bond with your cat on the way back." Amazing. And here's the thing with Jeremy. If I sent him a text right now and said, "Hey man, let's go for a run tomorrow," he would find time to do it. Period. He will always find time. He's an amazing dude. Michelle, she's married, got a kid. I don't know if she's married. She's married? I don't know. I didn't keep up that well. But she's got a family. And so we don't keep in touch as much. And Des moved to Florida. Him and his wife did the dream that they always had. They're Disney adults. They wanted to be near the park. They moved to Florida. They're thrilled. They did the thing they always wanted to do. Mission accomplished. Like fucking bucket list complete, right? And when Des comes back, he does send me a text, but usually it's just a little too late for me to be able to do whatever it is he wants me to do. So I actually haven't seen Des in quite a while, but all great people. And anytime they text, maybe we can get them all to Vegas for the GameCat Meetup 2026. Pietrek F with the 12 plantains says Halo on PS5, PSVR2 mode next. All right, so Halo got announced for PS5. Is that what happened? It finally, after all this time.
Oh yeah, when's Starfield? It's like on to the next game. Great. What about this game?
So it's a remake.
Is it?
It's a remake that's debuting on PS5 and Xbox in 2026.
There we go. Campaign, yeah, Halo campaign evolved.
Yeah, how great would it be if? I mean, listen, that's like Metroid Prime level of desire, right? To be able to play Halo in VR, that's pretty cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I've actually never played a Halo game, not fully. I've played like bits and pieces at like internet cafes and that growing up, but never. And it's not because I didn't want to. I've always loved it. I used to love watching Red versus Blue by Rooster Teeth.
Yeah,
so good. But yeah, it was just because I never had an Xbox. So what a good way of first experiencing Halo. What was your first Halo experience? It was in VR. Wow.
Right. The Headbite says, please buy Propagation Paradise Hotel. It's dirt cheap right now. Yeah, it is. In fact, it's $6 on the Halloween sale. $6. The most polished zombie shooter ever. And super scary.
And Ghost Signal, I think, is someone saying 80% off. Like, some ridiculous prices on the store.
Yeah, it's $2.
That's a must. That is an absolute must. Even if you like, I'd be happy to say that everyone should get it. Like, in terms of, if you don't enjoy it, I think it's still worth the price, kind of thing. Like, just to experience the atmosphere and that. It's I think it's been enough time for me now to go and play it again when I have time. The pain has subsided in me.
Oh, from your last save? Is that what it was?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was so close to getting to the end.
Yeah, dude, I still have a lot more to unlock in that game. Like, I probably spend 30 more hours in that game, no problem. Yeah, for $2. People complain that VR games aren't long enough. $2. You'll spend a whole month playing it.
VR Resistance asked, did I ever beat Propagation? I actually went into it on, I think it was my birthday live stream where I was just jumping into games, and I played Propagation. And I couldn't remember where I was. I was completely lost. And it's one of those things of like, maybe I'm better off just starting the game again kind of thing. When you jump between a lot of different games doing what we do, like, and it's been a while, I was actually chatting to people about this earlier with flat screen games as well. You just forget all the controls. And then it's like, I've got to learn this all again. And if you're going to learn it all again, you're not going to do it like quite far into the game. You're going to need to start from the beginning, which means actually maybe I could play from the beginning for a little bit and then jump back into that save. But yeah, Propagation is one of the one thing I mention about it again and again, and what I love about it most is when you're shooting at zombies coming towards you and they sort of lunge towards you, it's either because they're trying to attack you or you've killed them, and the fact that you're never exactly sure just makes it intense. So yeah, incredible stuff.
Prozac says, when do we get part 2 of Propagation? Listen, it's got to sell. Okay, it's got to sell, and so buy the crap out of it. Everybody go buy Propagation right now for $6. Everybody go do it. Okay, it's a great game, super polished, just awesome, right? It's scary. It uses the OLED blacks of the so well, right? It really makes you feel like you're in these dark corridors. The environments are great, and something I complain about constantly is not having any boss fights in zombie games, right? Vertigo Games is just so content to deliver Arizona Sunshine Remake, Arizona Sunshine 2, and have it really be devoid of boss fights, which is nonsense. In the Propagation Paradise Hotel is only a few hours long, like 3 or 4 hours, right? If you're taking your time going for collectibles, I think it took me 4 hours, and I was looking everywhere for collectibles. People told me that was a long time. I was like, all right. So maybe closer to 3 for most people. During that 3-hour playthrough, or 4 hours for me, multiple boss fights, and like kind of really impressive boss fights, good variety. Like, I just don't get it, man. Like, we need more of this. We need way more of this in video games. At some point, VR developers were like, boss fights are too hard. We're just not doing them anymore. And it was, wow. Talk about losing all of your epic moments, right? All the things that people talk about, all the things that make your game memorable. Oh, it's too hard, it's too expensive. Well, now your game is not as good as it could have been. Yeah, 90 frames per second. Good call, Headbite. It is razor sharp. It looks, it kind of, I said this in my review, I think, and maybe this is overstating it a little bit. It kind of looks like if Vertical Robot made a horror game. Like, that's how good this looks. Slouchy. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But this is World of Long Play saying, #viewer takeover. Would any of the cats be interested in seeing an upgraded, reimagined, re-release of the Solus project on PSVR2? And if yes, what would you like to see improved in the game, aside from visuals, locomotion, and haptics? So aside from all the things that you'd want to see in a remake of the Solus project, what would you want to see? Myles, did you play the Solus project on PSVR 1?
Didn't.
And now it's delisted. This was an early... Here, should I just play the trailer? I don't remember. So the Solus project is so interesting, man, because this was an early example of, you know, one of these indie games with a massive scope that said, "Hey, we're gonna make a PSVR2 version. We're gonna make, you buy the game, you play it in VR." And it was really impressive. It was a long game. There's a lot to it, a lot of variety, a lot of good stuff going on, and
it looks great.
It is. I think my biggest problem with it was that it was a little on the buggy side, a little too easy to accidentally glitch through a wall and then be like, wait, I'm not supposed to be here, and then like totally fuck yourself over. But it was a great survival game, and they made it as difficult as you wanted. They had a nice little slider in it, and where you could just turn off all the survival elements completely and just play it as an adventure game. And it was pretty impressive, even graphically on PSVR 1, and a little on the creepy side. I wouldn't say scary, but I want people in the chat to chime in on this. Like, tell us if you want the Solus project on PSVR 2, and also what you'd want improved. I just remember I have this great memory of the Solus project where I'm like walking along the shore, picking up items and trying to find, figure out what I'm supposed to be doing, and I kind of look over to my left, and I see like a twister, like some kind of tornado or something, like way out in the distance, just in the ocean, water sprawling up, and I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. Like, wow, they put a lot of work into the effects of this game. And I'm walking along, and I look back over, and I'm like, did that get closer? Like, at no point in my head did I think that this game was big enough budget for that thing to swoop into land and to actually be something I need to be concerned about.
Oh my goodness!
So when on the third time I looked over and saw that this thing was like just off the shore and it's like so close, I was like, wow, that's beautiful, but also it's gonna kill me. Like I was like running to like sheer panic, like complete right mindset. That thing put me in the complete right mindset, thinking, oh, that's really cool effect out there. Oh, now it's something I need to be worried about. And I'm like looking for like safety anywhere that I could find it. It was just a really cool moment. Tim says you can still play Solus on PC, but who wants to do that? Man. Yeah, it was delisted. It was delisted for licensing reasons. That's so interesting, World of Long Plays, because I remember when he first said it, the developer said it was a change in strategy, and so the change in strategy to sell your game is to not allow us to buy it. So that's interesting. I didn't know it was actually licensing reasons. Oh, good. We only have one more tip. King Rollo, the James Cat. Welcome to level 1 membership.
Welcome.
Somebody in chat said there's a new patch for Wander. Did anybody try it?
Don't
know. It's not the patch we're looking for. Okay. It's not just Wander, okay? I'm so tired of games being like, okay, we patched that bug out. Okay, now this new patch, we patched a couple more bugs out, right? It's
not with a version number. You want the patch that's called version. It's done.
Right. Right. You let me know when it's done. I don't. And it's only because we're eating so good over here in PSVR 2 land, Myles. That's the only reason.
I know.
Right? If we had all the time in the world to just dick around and play games that we've already played 100 times, great. But we're eating too good. We got new games to focus on. Hey, Mighty Eyes, let us know when Wanderer's done, because I honestly think it's going to be a top 5 game. Definitely top 10.
Yeah.
And so when Wander is done, I'm so excited to play it. When the combat overhaul is included, I think anyone playing Wanderer now is out of their goddamn mind. What you waited all this time to play Wanderer just so you could play the inferior version right before they patched the combat overhaul in? No.
That's what I mean. Is like when they've patched it a little bit, you're like, okay, I get it, but it's also like, am I supposed to play like another 10 minutes of it and then wait for the next patch for increment? Like,
right?
What am I actually expected to do here?
Yeah.
Look, I'm glad they're making improvements, but yeah, just let us know when it's done.
Yep. No, absolutely. I'm not faulting them for making incremental patches, for sure. Mm-hmm. I am just not interested in said incremental patches. You let us know when the roadmap is complete, and I'll get back in there. It's so ridiculous. King Roll of the Cartoon Game Cat. Hey, you just joined. That's you who just got the level 1 membership. Thanks for supporting the channel. Says, is NDREAMS selling Synapse hoodies yet? It's the coolest hoodie ever. I spoke to him at the time, and I was like, you guys need to set up a merch store. And they just said, we thought about it, but it's just like where we're going to keep all the stock and that because of they were specially made pieces. So, yeah. It's a big missed opportunity. And that's the thing. NDREAMS have always done exceptional merch. They did it with Fract. I still wear my Fract ski hat when I go out, like in the winter. Obviously, I'm not some psycho. Yeah, it's really, really comfy. And the bag they did was good. And then obviously the NDREAMS hoodie, super comfy, still comfy all this time. And this coat is just, yeah, it's super comfy and it's got nice orange in it and stuff. So yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When they sent this a package, they said they were sending a package. My mind did go, man, the bar's really high for NDREAMS. They've always knocked out the park. Is this going to be where it's like we get a box and I open it and it's like some badges and stuff like that? And I was like, I don't know. I was very impressed. At least the merch was AAA.
Wow.
Also, I gotta say, I'm really happy that I've been seeing some comments from people who really like Reach, right? And you know, like I said, I don't think a 6 out of 10 is a bad score. But I do think it says, hey, there's a lot of flaws here. There's a lot of issues. I do love when people try to blame me and be like, Bryan doesn't like puzzles. It's like, no. It's all about the pacing. That was my issue. I even said in the game that the puzzles are good. But shout out to everybody who's chiming in. You guys know I love hearing from people who disagree with me. Right? It's so boring for everyone to be like, oh yeah, no. I like hearing from opposing viewpoints. I think that's great. And
it's when people treat it like an attack. Like, oh, you gave it that score, so you must hate VR. No, right. He's just giving his opinion. And you know what Bryan likes and what he doesn't, and you can use that to make an informed decision. And don't just listen to Bryan. Maybe, obviously, you should be watching my Let's Play. You should be hearing AJ talk about it in his show, Wes as well. But make an all-round decision. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I will say, Myles, between you and me, and I know this won't get out to anyone else, just be between us.
What's that? Yeah.
There are people involved in Dreams of Another who have found my channel and found my coverage of it and tried to tear me down and be like, clearly this isn't the run and gun shooter that this developer that this reviewer clearly needs in his life, right? Is it tried to do something different and blah blah blah. And I was like, bro, you very easily discover who people are, and it's like people related to the game, right? Involved with the game. And it's like, man, you're not fooling anybody, right? It's like, but at least be honest. Talk if you disagree with me on something, that's great. But don't say you suck. God, this review sucks. Right? So tell me what points you disagree with. And I'll tell you, Myles, whenever somebody starts listing points that they agree or disagree with me on, we find out very quickly that we actually agree on almost everything all the time, but our feelings about all of the issues are different, right? We're so in line on so many things. And then, but I just enjoyed it all ultimately more than you did. And I'm like, yeah, that's why my reviews are so fucking long, right? It's like, if you ignore the 6 at the end of the Reach review, I bet we all agree with all the points in my Reach review, right? So it's like, yes, these are issues, but it's the end verdict that we don't all agree on, right? And I think, dude, and it's not just gaming. It's the world at large.
Oh,
we all really do agree way more than we think we do. We're just too busy screaming at each other to realize it.
It's why I always say, and when I used to do videos on politics and like it was more about discourse, it was like tear down, don't use labels. Like labels are sometimes important, but when you're discussing people you disagree with, if someone uses a label or something, ask them to explain what that label means. And then, like, as you say, you talk about the substance of it. So, like, yeah, a score is an indicator, but it shouldn't be the entire thing. Like, that is just a icing on the cake. You used to not use scores at all. Some people just want a quick dial of like, I haven't got time. Just I want a sense of where it is, and okay, that's what it is. Okay, now I know whether to give it consideration or not. But yeah, it's like talk about the substance of it, of like the things that are going through. I actually had someone comment on my Undead Citadel Let's Play saying, can you please showcase more of Dreams of Another? I'm currently 6 hours in. I think it's an incredible game. Not sure why it's not being covered more by PSVR2 content creators. So after you saying that, I'm just like, I mean, their username is just a bunch of numbers. So call me suspicious.
He was in here earlier, making fun of how many followers I have. Right? It's like, again, so it's the people who choose to insult you rather than talk about the bullet points, rather than talk about the things that we agree on or disagree on. That guy was like, oh, other people loved it, and you only have 70 people watching your show, and oh, you suck. It's like, all right, bro, I'm. If you think I'm in this rat race to like get the most number of subscribers, or to like, or if I'm putting out a Dreams of Another review because, what I mean, why? I don't understand. Like, I don't know. Maybe, I guess that's probably the bigger YouTube mentality. Probably more YouTubers are about, getting views and having rage bait and, doing all this stuff to increase their numbers in like the worst way possible. But I've never treated the channel that way. I've been doing this for 10 fucking years. And if like you don't know that by now,
never once done a thumbnail like that.
I've never done that. My face has never even been in a thumb. No, it's not true. My face has been in many thumbnails. I take it back. So anyway. Listen, there are people out there with bad, they're coming at it from, with bad intentions. But what are you gonna do?
Be safe, kid. Be safe, kids. That's all we're saying. Be safe.
Yeah.
Be safe out there. Good night. Wait, is that too dark to end the show like that? Yeah, let's not end like that.
Pick out a game, Myles, because we're being doing 4-minute challenge. Just a second here. Comic book guy with the 5 quid says a bit late, but started playing The Last of Us. Right now, around, I think, 30% in so far, but I'm finding it a bit confusing. VR mode would be cool. Wait, a bit late, but started playing The Last of Us.
The first one.
He's 30% away The Last of Us. Yeah, listen, a bit confusing.
If you're confused with the second one, I'd understand that a bit more. The second one does have a lot more, like, shifting around. And if I assume you've played the first one. If you're going straight into the second one, maybe, I don't
know. I mean,
I love it.
Obviously, we agree. I think the thing that really bothers me is that when they remade The Last of Us, right, to take full advantage of the PS5, right, a game that was on PS3 and they remade for PS4 and they did a remake for PS5. Bro, you're asking us to spend $70 for like the third time in 3 console generations. That's fine. Make it worthwhile. Give us a goddamn VR mode, right? Give us what we're looking for. And I know it's a small percentage of us. And a lot of people love the remake. I know you loved the remake, didn't you?
I loved it, yeah.
Yeah. So, great. You got to capitalize on these things. You got running a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Sometimes you just got to, milk what's working. But man, this would have been a great opportunity to give us a VR mode. I would have bought it a third time. But this is where I drew the line. I already bought it twice. I would have bought it a third time for the VR mode. They screwed up.
Their roguelike mode, though, on the remake is amazing. Part 2. Yeah, what's it called? Oh, man, it's so good. I played a shit ton of that, yeah. Yeah.
John DeLeon said, "Hey Brian, I know you mentioned it a month or two ago. You commented, but by any chance, have you heard anything about Fallen Planet? Being that they insinuated their next game would be out this year, right? Okay, so I'm thinking their next game is supposed to be Affected the Asylum, the 4-player kind of new environment for like. I'm assuming the gameplay is going to be similar to Affected the Manor." Right, where it's kind of like a haunted house. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm assuming that there's probably more interactions, more puzzles, or actual puzzles, and then you have to get through as a group. I don't have good information for you. All I can tell you is this, because I don't. It's not, you know, when developers trust me when they let me in on what's going on behind the scenes and their story and what's happening. It's not for me to tell you without explicit permission from them. That said, the important thing, motorcycles on my end. The important thing is that the studio's still going. They're still trucking. They're doing fine. They may be working on something else right now. Again, like I don't have total clarification on this, but I don't. I mean, listen, I personally don't think that Affected the Asylum is coming out this year. It was supposed to come out like 2 years ago, I think. And they got sidetracked by something else completely, which I don't think I'm at liberty to talk about. But for me, thank you, John. I appreciate you not wanting me to say more than I should. But for me, the important part is that the studio's still alive and healthy. That's in today's VR landscape, in today's gaming landscape. So frequently, a game will just disappear, and we'll go, "What happened to that game?" And then you'll just never hear from the developer again. And you're like, "Oh, I guess that didn't work out," right? And that's the worst case scenario. That's not what we want to hear. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm just happy that Fallen Planet is still kicking, and we should get the game eventually. And hopefully it'll be worth the wait. Myles, do you have?
Yes, sir.
A game picked? Oh, you do. Perfect. All right, guys, we're gonna do 4-minute challenge, and then we're gonna get out of here. So everybody help out. Myles has a game in his head. It's probably a PSVR1 game. It might be a PSVR2 game. It's up to us to figure out what game it is. We have 4 minutes, but an infinite number of yes or no questions to ask during that 4 minutes. So make sure you ask good questions in the chat, and then based on the answers we get, suggest good games that it might be. There's no way I'm getting this. I'm just telling you right now. It could legit be Resident Evil Village, and I won't get it. On your mark, get Des, go. Is it spooky?
No, sorry, Brian. Next week.
Is it on? Wait, did we get mentioned during today's show?
No.
Is it on PSVR1?
No.
Whoa, it's a PSVR2 game. All right, well, that makes it a little bit easier. Is it a first-person shooter?
No.
Is it a puzzle game?
Yes.
Ooh. Was it a launch game? Good question, Ace.
Yes.
Did you duplicate yourself?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Excellent work. Excellent work.
Yeah, except I forgot the name of the game. Clock Winder. The last is Myles. Is it the last Clock Winder?
It is the last Clock Winder, Brian. Well done. That was amazing. Excellent series of questions there.
Thanks.
I mean, I knew that if the question came up of was it a launch title, that really narrows it down. But with those other pieces as well, excellent work.
This is such a good game that I have not yet finished.
Dude, again, I actually think it's incredibly underrated. I fucking love this game. It pains me it doesn't have a platinum trophy. And no, it's
worthless.
I get it when people go, "Oh, really? Does that spoil it?" Well, no, my point is this is the perfect game for a platinum trophy because it really gets tricky, and I would love to have that to like, strive to the end. I think it's stunning. It's incredibly sweet. I love the narrative. I love the vibe of it. I think it's incredibly underrated. I just feel like it kind of got lost in the release because it was there was a lot there. But yeah,
there were 40 games at launch. 40. I mean, it was just nuts. And 3 of those games were really big budget, like Gran Turismo 7 and Resident Evil Village and Horizon Call of the Mountain, like games that people were really, really paying attention to. Usually, you want to be there at launch, right, to take advantage of the fact that there's only a couple of games that people can buy. So people will probably buy your game just by default. That's how it used to be, right?
Yeah.
You wanted to be there, and people just buy. I mean, listen, I bought a lot when I bought my PlayStation 2 way back in the early 2000s. I bought a lot of crap because it was the early days of PlayStation 2. I spent a week playing Orphan Scion of Sorcery. I also was drinking heavily, so I have fond memories of a pretty rough game. But I bought everything I get my hands on. When there's 40 games at launch and most of them are quality, you're going to get lost in the mix. And that's sad because this game is pretty awesome. So one day
I also think it's and it doesn't mean it would do. It is one that if it was a top 25 contender, I would not be like, no way. Like I could totally see it. It's just exceptional quality, and I love the mechanics. It's VRAF by its very nature. So for those that don't know, but you're watching the video now, some people in the chat were asking, is basically you've got to get seeds, for example, or you've got to get so many items like apples off a tree into a place. So you get so many replications of you. So what you might do is, and each replication has a certain amount of time that loops, so you can't do loads of actions forever. So let's say it's a 2-second action. So you might be like, right, I'm going to grab the apples and then throw them. That's the action, right? Save that. So now the character keeps doing it. And then you stand where the apples catches. I'm going to catch them and then throw them in the bin. And so now you've got the flow, and that does it. But what blew my mind is you're in this massive facility. So you go down to a different level and you'll see the fruit dropping down that you've just set up in that other room. So you get a real sense of like, wow, I'm literally setting up a factory like everywhere. And I'm probably not even halfway through it, and it's already got incredibly complicated. I was surprised how quickly you got it also, just because Luke was saying it hadn't been chosen before. I thought, yeah, this is one we haven't talked about for a long time, so I just thought it'd be out of sight, out of mind. But you said duplicate, so yeah, your mind went to this straight away.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it was a puzzle game, launch puzzle game. What other launch puzzle games were there? Puzzling Places.
I honestly don't even remember.
Yeah.
This game does stand out in my memory. And listen, it wasn't me. It was the cats asking the good questions, right? Ace was like, "Is it a launch game?" It's like, "Oh, that narrows it down very quickly."
Yeah.
And then was it Looper asking if it was a puzzle game? And I was like, "Well, that also narrows it down from that." It's like we got real lucky with a couple of those questions. So, but good stuff. You
didn't review this, did you? You didn't review it, I don't think.
No. And what we were doing at launch, because again, like, we were hitting the ground running. I got my PSVR headset the same day that PSVR2 launched. Don't forget, you guys, I am blacklisted by Sony. Some people don't believe me, man. They just don't. But yeah, most other people were sent a headset 2 weeks in advance to start prepping footage and start getting reviews and launch day coverage out. I hit the ground running, man. I had to wait for mine to be delivered at like 2 p.m. Till I could finally start playing. And so, yeah, and honestly, like, and I bring it up a lot, Myles. I bring that situation up a lot, not to be like, oh, woe is me. Like, honestly, fuck Sony. I don't give a fuck, right? That it doesn't matter to me. I was happy to buy one. I was excited to get one. I'm like, I'm going to do it for the channel no matter what. Who the fuck cares? It makes me sad that I wasn't able to cover like a game like this properly, or the Light Brigade properly, like, right? Because I'm just so overwhelmed. And so what we were able to do at the time was to, like, dedicate GAMESCAST episodes to games that like we just weren't going to have time to cover, right? And so we were trying to like do like, me and one of the co-hosts, it might have been you, I have no idea, covered The Last Clockwinder on one episode, right? And then we covered a different game on another episode, and we tried to knock out a lot of games that way. But man, it was just so much. It was so overwhelming. And so hopefully this game sold well. Hopefully it did okay, right? Despite the barrage of launch games that were just way too much for anybody to cover. Oh, hold on. We got another tip from Comic Book Guy. He says it would have been cool. Sorry, with 5 quid. Thank you. He said it would have been cool if Mouse PI for Hire had a VR mode. This isn't the first time we're hearing about this game. Comic Book Guy, were you the guy who brought this up before? Because I swear I had a trailer for this, and I had it because somebody on GamesCast asked about it. But maybe I'm thinking of the wrong game. He said it would have been cool if Mouse PI for Hire had a VR mode, and it reminds me of Bad Cheese. And by the way, Bad Cheese is a good horror game for 10 quid. What is Bad Cheese? Why am I learning so much at the absolute last second before we're signing off? Bad Cheese game. Save 20% on Bad Cheese on Steam. Yeah. This has the same art style as the Mouse PI for Hire game I was thinking of. Yeah, this would be great in VR. Holy crap. Sorry, you guys. You have to look up Bad Cheese on your own. All right, you guys, we got to get out of here. But thank you so much. This was really, I think my brain was going 1,000 miles an hour before the show, and now I can just kind of focus on getting PSVR this week done and getting back to some of those reviews that I'm working on this week. Punch. So it's kind of a nice reset button late in the day, kind of what I needed. So thanks, Myles, for being here. Thanks all the cats for being here. You guys are all awesome. Really appreciate it.
Best way to start the weekend, always.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't keep bringing that up, Brian. I know it's a sore spot.
Oh, that this is not a weekend for me?
This is not a weekend. Like, you're just like, no, it's PSVR this week, work days.
It's not about me, man. It's not about me. Like most of the people watching right now, I guarantee it, have the next 2 days off. Most, not all, some.
Yeah.
Some of you. So there's got to be some waiters and bartenders and stuff out there who are like not even watching right now because they're at work.
Yeah.
So if you are a server or a bartender, you work in hospitality, fucking let us know in the comments. We need to hear from you. You guys are my bread and butter. That's where I came from. Guys, thanks to everybody who supports the channel financially, whether it be over on patreon.com/withoutparolegames or by being a member over here or by tipping during the show. It means the world. Thank you for keeping the lights on.
Hitting the like button.
It. Also, thank you for hitting the like button. Hit the hype button. I don't know what the hype button is, but there's a hype button. I don't have a hype button on my end. Is there a hype button on your end?
I think you can only do it after the show has published.
No,
I saw a hype button.
I'm saying I haven't seen a hype button on YouTube. Period. For anything
I did, and I got scared. I didn't know what to do because it had loads of numbers next to it. And I was like, is that how much hype I've got to give, or is that how much they've got already? I don't understand. We need to research this. It's like all this stuff in the chat, this XP stuff. Who's number one? And in first place is Comic Book. Oh, it doesn't have the full name.
Comic Book Guy?
Comic Book Guy. Thank you.
Clearly. Myles, we are YouTubers, supposedly, and we don't know what the fucking hype button does. That's a problem. YouTube, what are you doing? How are you introducing these new features, not telling us about them?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, everybody. And honestly, like, I get it. I've been a huge fan of a lot of different channels, and I never, ever supported them financially. So if you're out there, you're one of those people. We get it. I am you, usually. So we're just happy you're here. We're happy that you're part of the community. Come join our Discord. Come join in on the Sunday and Saturday multiplayer, right? Albo and oh shit, I thought I had it. After the fall. And we'll see you over there. We're just happy you're part of this awesome community. Thank you so much. And if you sit back and watch the show and don't say a goddamn word, we know you're out there and we love you just as much. Happy Friday, Myles.
Happy Friday, Brian. Happy Friday, Game Cats. Take good care of yourselves. Next time, we'll see ya.
Here it is, a clip of the week, courtesy of Andrew Ehrenreich. Let's go.
Me? I don't know how any of this works.
Don't worry, you're more than capable. First things first, though, you'll need this access slate. Insert it into the console.
It's
I remember having a handful of sausage in that game.
It's so funny. It's like, listen, it's a great step in the right direction. Okay, like having fingers that do interact with things is great. But dude, if you even played the demo of Lies in Rain, does the hand thing better than Reach does. But I'm glad that this technology's out there, even if it looks really, really silly sometimes. Sorry. Null Zero says I feel uncomfortable. Yeah, no, we're all in the same boat. It's a little weird, but I think we all did it while playing the game. Fifth with the Australian $5 says, if you're new, check out Myles' channel. 95% of VR games have been played. I'm sorry, PSVR2 games have been played. Is that true? Well, have you actually checked the percentage? Have you played 95% of PSVR2 games?
Holy shit, I haven't done a percentage in that.
You should. You should. It would make you feel so much closer to the goal.
I mean, I'd have to look at my spreadsheet, but yeah, it's all happening. We're getting there.
Yeah, no, listen, honestly, like we talked about my co-host today, but like go into the description of this video and there's links to Myles' channel and AJ's channel and Wes's channel. Please spread the love. Go subscribe to them and watch what they do because they all do great stuff.
Thank you very much.
Secrets of says, without Parole, Brian, watch the movie Good Boy. I'm assuming you mean the new one from the perspective of the dog and not the one where a dude is in like pup play outfit and like being forced to act as a puppy for some dude. Not that one. Because that one was pretty good, not going to lie. But I do want to watch the new Good Boy. As soon as it hits streaming. I also want to watch Shelby Oaks. Because Chris Stuckman, the YouTuber who I'd never heard of until Shelby Oaks was announced.
Oh, really? You hadn't? Okay.
Never, dude. I watched the weird...
There was controversy with him when it came to the Morbius movie. I think he refused to review it.
Controversy.
Controversy.
I think you put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Controversy. Controversy.
Oh my god, I feel better. Oh, controversy. What the?
Controversy. I hear some people say controversy. I would say controversy. Aluminum. Vitamins.
Where do you park your garage? Where do you park your car?
Garage, sidewalk, pavement, paper towels, kitchen
wait,
roll.
Wait. What was the? Well, we're just gonna keep talking. What was the controversy with Chris Stuckman? I don't know. What was the deal?
Well, I think it was when Morbius came out. I don't know if he knew one of the people on the team, but I think he reviewed it, but he kind of didn't review it because obviously it was supposedly not a good movie. And so he just got a lot of stick for people saying, well, now he's making his own movie. He doesn't want to rock the boat. And so he's no longer a viewer, stuff like that. I mean, I didn't really look into it, so I don't really know what my opinion is on it. But that was when he was in the development of this. But here's what I've learned about YouTube controversies over the years. It doesn't. It's all fucking. It's all boring and manufactured. And most people, not all of them. Obviously, there's a bunch of people doing terrible things, but most of the controversies that you hear about are just fucking garbage. Right? These are human beings. Fuck you, Brian. Fuck you.
And most of them are just trying to do their best. That's what most of it is. That
is true.
And then there's the other people who are doing all sorts of terrible things.
There are.
Yeah,
there's a bit of that.
Yeah. All right. Let's get out of here, man. Good night, everybody. We love you all. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye-bye.